For more exciting speedway action from the 1991 Ullevi Open, a classic which has attracted a real cosmopolitan field. We now go into heat number 13 of this particular event, which sees Calvin Tatum ride in red, Peter Carlson from Sweden in blue, Jimmy Nilsson from Sweden in white, and Craig Boyce from Australia, who currently heads back on 8 points. He rides in yellow and black. That's the way they line up for heat number 13. So Craig Boyce just dropping 1 point in his third outing to Hans Nilsson, of course his teammate in the Oxford Cheetahs camp. But of course it's all about individual points tally for this one. Hans Nilsson won the title twice here in Ullevi in 1988 and 1989. Sadly, the Ullevi never took place in 1990. So it's back on the hunt for 1991. This is heat number 13. Away they go from the start and into the first turn, and the red helmet colour of Calvin Tatum leads. Round the outside comes Craig Boyce. So Craig Boyce trying the outside line on Calvin Tatum. Hasn't quite got the speed as Tatum holds momentum. Blue, Peter Carlson puts his hand in the air to signify engine problems, so Jimmy Nilsson comes through the third. But with 1 lap gone, Calvin Tatum leads. Craig Boyce in second and Jimmy Nilsson third. And it was Tatum made a sweet start from track number 1. Took a nasty tumble recently at Craig the Heath rode Gretza Heathens for Berwick, hurt his back, but gladly for him came through the British final, and now moves on in the World Championship Stakes to the Commonwealth final on June 2nd. His quest to reach this particular stadium on August the 31st. Calvin Tatum leads in the red helmet. Still second is Craig Boyce as we enter the final lap of heat number 13, and Jimmy Nilsson in third place. So riders all over the place dropping points, and it's going to be very difficult to keep tally towards the latter part of this meeting. But round the final two bends, it's Calvin Tatum who gets his second win of the evening. It's Tatum that wins. Second place is Craig Boyce, and in third place it's Jimmy Nilsson. But there he is, high school trained lad, Calvin Tatum. A big winter signing for the Berwick Bandits, and of course rides from Mariestad in the Swedish League. He's the winner of heat 13. Heat number 14, Andy Smith rides in the red helmet colour, so far unattached in England, but rides for Eskilstuna in Sweden. Kenneth Nyström, certainly not outclassed in this field, he rides in blue. Lars Gunnestad is in white, and Todd Wiltshire makes up the foursome, he rides in yellow and black. There we are, the full lineup for heat number 14 of the 1991 Ullevi Open. Green light now shows the tapes rise and drive from the start they do, and the first one to show is the yellow and black helmet of Todd Wiltshire, who's there. Second place in red is Andy Smith. Andy Smith, also a recent qualifier from the British final, hot in pursuit of Speedy Todd. But Todd Wiltshire leads, Andy Smith back in second. Lars Gunnestad third. And Kenneth Nyström back in fourth place. That's the way they space themselves out in heat number 14. Andy Smith, who is getting fair share of European bookings, but sadly for him, no British pole to come in. Just look at Smith come up alongside Todd Wiltshire, was caught a little bit of sleep then, Todd gathers momentum, and you certainly can't go asleep with the likes of Andy Smith behind you. We now enter the final lap of heat number 14, and Smith still trying the inside line on Todd Wiltshire. Down the back straight for the final time. Gunnestad still in third place. But it's going to be Todd Wiltshire who collects his third win of the night. It's Wiltshire that wins. Second place is Andy Smith, and in third place is Lars Gunnestad. But Todd Wiltshire just shaking his head there. He nearly went to sleep on lap number 3, and Andy Smith very nearly come underneath him. So Todd Wiltshire, he moves sweetly on to 10 points as he wins heat number 14. So heat number 15, and there in red is Hans Nilsson. He won his third outing, previously 0-0 for Hans Nilsson, which is most unlike him. Engine failure second time out. So Hans Nilsson moves into the red helmet colour gate number 1. Of course, the Toyota Kid, heavily sponsored by them on the Scandinavian scene. Captain of the Oxford Speedway Cheetahs, and also rides for Vetlanda in the Swedish Elite League. Second gate in gate number 2 in the blue helmet colour, Mikael Blitz, winner last time out from Sweden. Gate 3 in white is Jan Andersson. And gate number 4 in yellow and black, the current Speedway champion, Per Jonsson. That's the way they line up for heat number 15 of the Ullevi Open 1991. Pictures coming exclusively from the hotshot cameras of transmission and TV media and of course screen sport. Now we wait for the tape to rise as they do on heat number 15, and straight into the first turn. It's all action is Nielsen and Blitz there together. Jonsson back in third place, but it's Hans Nielsen who holds them at the moment. Hans Nielsen leads, Blitz second, Jan Andersen in third place, and Per Jonsson, surprise, surprise, back in fourth. So Hans Nielsen, Blitz second, Andersen third, Jonsson fourth. So Hans Nielsen beginning to get amongst the points. I'm sure he won't be able to make a rostrum position, having two ducks in his first and second outing, but he's going to be a very much a spoiler in his last outing. Still the blue helmet colour of Blitz in second place, and Andersen holding on to third against the world champion. As we go into lap number 4 of heat number 15. So Hans Nielsen down the back straight for the final time. He's got the measure now of the Ullevi circuit. Of course, one of the 3 track record holders here on 70 seconds exactly. He wins, it's Nielsen's victory. Second place is Michael Blitz. In third place, coming through, was Per Jonsson, but sadly that won't be enough to get him in a very good position. But it's Hans Nielsen who collects his second win of the night. He's now on 6 points as he wins heat number 15. So they're in blue, a change, sadly, sadly, should I say, Billy Hamill not fit to take his place. Michael Carlson coming in to replace him, the reserve. Michael Bluther of Peter Carlson, he arrives from Mariestad. So Janno Peterson red, Michael Carlson blue, Ronnie Corrie in white, and Rick Miller yellow and black. This is heat number 16, as they drive into the first turn. And it's a red, white and yellow and black helmet colours that fly into that second turn. Who's going to come down the back straight? Just the lead is going to be Rick Miller. Miller just leads from Janno Peterson. Peterson on the inside now of Miller. Who's got the drive? It's still Miller. Peterson second. Ronnie Corrie third. Michael Carlson back in fourth. But it's Rick Miller who's got just enough daylight between him and Janno Peterson. But you certainly can't rest with Janno Peterson hot on your tail. Otto Weiss sponsored Janno Peterson. And the Sonic Communications boy, Rick Miller, who leads the pack at the moment. Still the white helmet colour Ronnie Corrie, who was the winner last time out in third place. But it looks like Rick Miller is going to get amongst the points and put himself back in the reckoning. As we take into consideration, we're now on the last lap of heat number 16. 400 metre circuit here at the Ullevi Stadium. And Miller around the final 2 bands. Is what has been a very eventful meeting so far, with riders dropping points right, left and centre. But it's Rick Miller that wins. Second place, Janno Peterson. In third place, it's Ronnie Corrie. And there we say, good old Rick Miller, at long last, getting a victory. He's played for life, no doubt. What a great baptism in that royal family made in 1990 at Bradford's Odsal Stadium. And he's the winner of heat number 16. 2 points to Janno Peterson and 1 to Ronnie Corrie. That's the result of heat number 16. And a break with racing at the moment as we see a little bit of nostalgia come onto our screens in the shape of Ullevi Fundin and Ollie Nygren, 2 of the veterans of the Swedish speedway scene in the decades that have passed. Ullevi Fundin still takes part, of course, in Barry Briggs's Golden Great meetings. But there we are on their vintage old machines, and the tapes rise of what is going to be one from Mamia Brilia, Ullevi Fundin and Ollie Nygren. Fundin, of course, rode for Norwich majority of his speedway days in England, and then in later days rode for Bellevue. And Ollie Nygren rode for several tracks, Wimbledon in particular, had a great spell with them. Looks over his shoulder to see that Ullevi Fundin still behind him. So Nygren leads, Fundin second, and this is surely 2 of the all-time greats in terms of Swedish speedway. Ollie Nygren leads, Ullevi Fundin trying to come up the inside, unless you can have a late dash from the Ullevi Fundin we know of old. But it's not going to be, it's Ollie Nygren who gets there. Ullevi Fundin in second place, and 1 for the Swedish crowd, and I dare say a lot of these can't remember them in their heyday, but sadly I can. Ullevi Fundin is who gets second place, Ollie Nygren the winner in what is an event for the vintage spectators here in the Ullevi Stadium. Ollie Nygren and Ullevi Fundin, 2 famous old names from Swedish speedway in the past. And I say, bringing one or two familiar memories to yours truly and several of the crowd here in the Ullevi Stadium. That's just a break from the conventional Ullevi Open, nothing to do with the score chart. And there we see the pack at the moment with Todd Wiltshire and Craig Boyce from Australia leading the pack. Join us after the break for the conclusion of the 1991 Ullevi Open from Gothenburg in Sweden. Gothenburg Stadium, Ullevi Stadium in Gothenburg, and we're just looking at the score chart and it's still all open in this one. Just two riders, Wiltshire and Boyce, on 10 points, and then 2 on 8, Miller and Tatum, and it's still anybody's championship at the moment. Everybody's dropping points, but we see in this particular heat, of course, it's Craig Boyce in red who could go through on 13 points and perhaps force a run off if Todd Wiltshire wins his last one, but the minor places are still up for grabs. Heat number 17, Craig Boyce in red, Lars Gunnestad is in blue, Rick Miller white, and Jan Andersen in yellow and black. So the conclusion, the final 4 races, the final outing for all of the 16 competitors. We just wait and see if, who's going to take the title in 1991. It certainly has been a seesaw meeting with riders dropping points all over the place. And perhaps that's the way Speedway should be. Anyway, the heat number 17 is next. The starting marshal calls them in. He's happy. The green light goes on. The tapes rise and heat number 17 gets underway. And the first one to show is the blue helmet colour of Lars Gunnestad. Gunnestad leads. Jan Andersen in yellow black is along with him. So Gunnestad leads. Jan Andersen second. Craig Boyce in third place in red at the moment. And Rick Miller fourth. But with 1 lap gone, it's Gunnestad who leads. Still Andersen in second place. And Craig Boyce, who would have nearly up to 1, this would have been on 13. It looks as though it's going to be all action as Boyce comes underneath Andersen. Boyce comes through to second place. And also Rick Miller coming through as well. So the minor places are all changing. Craig Boyce now through to second place and Rick Miller third, but it's Lars Gunnestad who leads. Has Boyce got anything left inside that engine to try and catch up Craig Boyce? We're on the final lap of heat number 17. Gunnestad leads. Boyce second place. And Rick Miller third. So around the final 2 bends, and it's going to be a good scalp for this rider in blue. It's Lars Gunnestad who's there. He wins. Second place, Craig Boyce. In third place is Rick Miller. So a good win for Lars Gunnestad. He finishes this title hunt on 8 points. But more importantly, Craig Boyce, who drops another one. He ends up on 12, and Rick Miller ends up on 9. So we wonder now, with Craig Boyce on 12 points, just what we've got left in store in this 1991 Ullevi Open from Gothenburg. So heat number 18, Janno Pedersen in red, Andy Smith in blue, Calvin Tatum white, and Hans Nielsen is in yellow and black. Janno Pedersen on 6, Hans Nielsen on 6, Andy Smith on 6, and Calvin Tatum on 8 points. That's the way they line up as we wait for heat number 18. They drive from the start, and the first one goes into that turn. They box together. Oh, and down goes the rider in white, and they're all down. The rider in white took a very, very nasty tumble indeed, which was Calvin Tatum. That looked a very, very nasty fall indeed. We wait with our fingers crossed that there's no injuries, and let's take another look. It's the rider in white and front row, Andy Smith, who lock together. Tatum come across Andy Smith, and they lock together, and Tatum and Smith down in some discomfort. And as I say, we do keep our fingers crossed that both riders are all right. Calvin Tatum on his feet and explaining to the people what exactly happened, but he doesn't look particularly fully fit, does he? We keep our fingers crossed, Calvin, that you're okay. That, of course, is the main thing. Andy Smith still down at the moment, just getting to his feet now and beginning to walk away. And that's the main thing, is they are capable of walking away. There, Andy Smith, he's a wary old character from Yorkshire. So 2 reserves in the restaging heat 18. Nicholas Klingberg is in white, and Mikko Karlsson from Mariestad, he's in blue. So Janno Pedersen red and Hans Nielsen in yellow and black, the only 2 remaining riders in this particular race before the mayhem took place. So the riders start then, the restart of heat 18, and Janno Pedersen and Hans Nielsen, as predicted, go into the first and second turn. And it's just Hans Nielsen at the moment. Hans Nielsen with a drop on Janno Pedersen. Third place in blue is Michael Karlsson. 1 lap gone, Hans Nielsen leads. Janno Pedersen second. Hans Nielsen surely will be cursing his luck. Alas, first time out and then an engine failure. So pointless after 2 outings. And now looks as though he's got things right, and 2 wins in his 3rd and 4th outing. It's put him right back amongst the reckoning, but sadly for him, too late. Nielsen still leads, Janno Pedersen 2nd. Mikael Karlsson in 3rd, and Nicholas Klingberg in 4th place. Oh, Nielsen draws to a halt with mechanical problems as we enter the final lap of Heat 18. So just when it looked as though Hans Nielsen was going to finish on 9 points, his engine grinds to a halt for the 2nd time here in Gothenburg on Wednesday, May the 22nd. Not your lucky day, Hans, but it's Janno Pedersen who comes up to take the flag. He wins. 2nd place, Mikael Karlsson. In 3rd place, Nicholas Klingberg. So there we are, Janno Pedersen. He ends up with 3 points and ends up on 9 points. Not Hans Nielsen's lucky day, is it? He ends up on 6 points as he walks back dejected to the pits. But congratulations on Janno Pedersen, the winner of heat number 18. So heat number 19, and Mikael Blitz in red, Peter Karlsson in blue, Kenneth Nystrom white, and Nicholas Klingberg, 2 on the trot for him, the reserve replacing Billy Hamill. The tapes rise on heat number 19, and they rise from the start, and it's Peter Karlsson who's there in front of Kenneth Nystrom. So Karlsson leads from Kenneth Nystrom. Mikael Blitz coming underneath from now through to 2nd place and trying to get up close to Peter Karlsson. Karlsson, of course, Swedish champion in 1989. Took that title at Eskilstuna. There the Swedish title is resting firmly on the shoulders of Tony Rickardsson, who of course races for Stockholm United. 2nd place still Mikael Blitz. 3rd place Kenneth Nystrom. So Karlsson looks as though he's going to end up his 1991 Ullevi Open with 3 points. Currently on 3. Blitz, he was on 6 before this race started. 1 more lap to go in heat number 19. Down the back straight for the final time. Karlsson leads. Peter Karlsson, that is. Blitz still in 2nd place. And it's going to be Peter Karlsson who wins. Mikael Blitz in 2nd place. And in 3rd place was Kenneth Nystrom. So Nystrom ends up on 4 points. Peter Karlsson ends up on 6, and Mikael Blitz ends up on 8 points. That's the result after heat number 19. So heat number 20, Per Jonsson red, Jimmy Nilsson blue. Todd Wiltshire can take the title if he wins. He's in white, and Ronnie Corrie yellow and black. As the tapes rise and they go into that first turn, and it is Jonsson who takes the lead. Jonsson and Ronnie Corrie are there. Todd Wiltshire in white is in 3rd place at the moment. Jimmy Nilsson tailed off in 4th. So Todd Wiltshire needed to win to take the championship, finds himself back in 3rd place, and at the moment in time it will mean the title goes to Craig Boyce on 12. So has Billy Todd got anything left? Ronnie Corrie leads, Per Jonsson 2nd, Todd Wiltshire 3rd, and Jimmy Nilsson in 4th place with 2 laps gone of heat number 20. Jonsson, who holds the key to Per Jonsson's success or failure. Ronnie Corrie way in front, but Jonsson 2nd, and Wiltshire needs that place if he wants to force a run-off with fellow Australian Craig Boyce. We're now on the final lap, and it looks as though Craig Boyce, the current Australian champion, although not in this outing, is going to take the Ullevi crown of 1991. Wiltshire still in 3rd place. Ronnie Corrie is going to win, there's no doubt about that. It's Ronnie Corrie who wins. He finishes on 8 points. Ronnie Corrie, the winner of heat number 20. Per Jonsson gets 2nd place. He also finishes on 8 points. But more importantly, Wiltshire finishes in 3rd place, and he finishes in 2nd place in this tournament on 11. But congratulations to Craig Boyce, who becomes the 1991 Ullevi champion here in Gothenburg. And we look down to see there is going to be a run-off for 3rd place between Rick Miller and Janno Pedersen for 3rd place. So there we see Rick Miller in white, Janno Pedersen in red, the 2 riders who will contest the minor places, both having finished on 9 points. Rick Miller and Janno Pedersen. This is just for the bronze medal here in Gothenburg. The Ullevi of 1991 also been won so far by Craig Boyce. 2nd place, Todd Wiltshire. This is for 3rd place on the rostrum. The green light's on, the tapes rise, the bikes roar into action, and it is Janno Pedersen who gets there to the first turn. Rick Miller trying to cut back underneath him. Has he got the speed? Janno Pedersen red, Rick Miller white. Pedersen with a drop on Rick Miller. Both ride in the Midlands for their respective British League clubs. Pedersen with Cradley Heath, Rick Miller with Coventry. Pedersen doesn't compete in the Swedish League, but Miller does with Mariestad. But this is all about the bronze medal here in Gothenburg on May the 22nd, 1991. As the dust begins to settle in what has been a thoroughly entertaining Ullevi Classic, with riders beating riders out of sight, and it's been so difficult to keep a score chart. But it's congratulations to Craig Boyce and to Todd Wiltshire, 1 and 2 respectively. For this fella from Denmark, Janno Pedersen, with one more lap to go in Heat 21, the run-off for third place here. Looks as though he's done it down the back straight for the final time. It's going to be third place for Janno Pedersen and fourth to Rick Miller. So Pedersen wins, Miller comes over for second place, which means he finishes in fourth. So there we are, the conclusion of the 1991 Ullevi Open sees Craig Boyce from Australia take the title on 12 points. Good day, sport, congratulations to you. Your fellow Australian Todd Wiltshire, he's also doing the biz for your country. He finishes in second place on 11. Janno Pedersen in third after that run-off with Rick Miller, who finishes in fourth. And then Kelvin Tatum fifth. Lars Gunnestad, a good performance from him. He finishes sixth. Ronnie Curry 7, Mikael Blitz 8, and Per Jonsson also on 8 points. So there we are. The victory parade sounds loud and clear for the victorious 3. The rest of the riders, Hans Nielsen, he ends up on 6, and what might have been for Hans Nielsen, 2 engine problems. Jimmy Nielsen also on 6, Peter Carlson 6, and Andy Smith on 6. Billy Amel sadly couldn't complete his outings, he finishes on 5 points. Kenneth Nystrom on 4, Jan Andersson on 3, and the 2 reserves, Mikael Carlson on 2, and Nicholas Klingberg, he finishes on 1. Well, there we are, the king of the pack. Congratulations to Craig Boyce, who's done all the hard work. Shakes hands with Janno Pedersen, shakes hands with Todd Wiltshire. They both ride for Vestavik in the Swedish Elite League, and it is now the national anthems that will sling. Yes, it is indeed, loud and clear into the midnight air here in Gothenburg. But Craig Boyce, who is the Australian Speedway champion, and the first appearance ever for him in this championship. And all that remains for me to say is, on behalf of the hotshot cameras of transmission and TV media, Tommy Randers, this is Clive Fisher for Screen Sport, saying hope you've enjoyed the 1991 Ullevi Classic, and it remains for me to say good night from Gothenburg.